Coming up on Mountain News at 6, 4 people are dead and several others hurt after a mass shooting in downtown Louisville. And we'll hear from one Eastern Kentucky sheriff about his connections with Louisville law enforcement.
And beautiful weather continues across the mountains to kick off the new work week, but showers are possible by this weekend. All those details coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Four people are dead after a mass shooting at Old National Bank in downtown Louisville. 9 others were hurt and 3 are still in critical condition, including a police officer. Investigators say a bank employee used a rifle and live streamed the killings. The police officer that was critically hurt was 26-year-old Officer Nick Wilt. He was shot in the head. He had just graduated from the police academy in late March.
I just swore him in, and his family was there to witness his journey to become a police officer. He was struck in the head, engaged in this incident. Nick has come out of brain surgery and is in critical but stable condition as we speak.
Officers identified the shooter as 23-year-old Connor Sturgeon. They say he was employed at the Old National Bank. Sturgeon was killed during the shooting. LMPD is still investigating what led up to all this. Now, after the deadly ambush in the Allen community of Floyd County last summer, law enforcement in Louisville were the first to lend a helping hand. Now the Floyd County Sheriff's Department is expressing their condolences to Louisville police. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox talked to the Floyd County Sheriff about how their important relationship is with Louisville law enforcement.
In June 2022, 3 officers and a K-9 were killed in a Floyd County shooting. And while it does not compare to the loss of life, 6 vehicles were destroyed as well. Although they could not bring back the fallen officers, the first offer of help from another law enforcement agency came from Louisville.
It's other places like our bigger cities, we call them bigger brothers, who reached out to us and said, I'll take care of you, I'll give you what I've got, and I'll get you on your feet. And that's what Louisville did to us.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department lended 3 police vehicles. Floyd County Sheriff John Hunt says they still use them today.
We still got those vehicles. Obviously, when our incident happened, we lost about 6 vehicles, and Jefferson County was the first one. John Aubrey, the sheriff, who said, you know, you're not alone in this, we're with you.
Hunt described seeing messages about the Louisville shooting as gut-wrenching, especially after what his department went through last summer. Hunt previously served as a state trooper in the Louisville area.
Yeah, I spent a year and a half in Louisville, in E-Town at the E-Town State Police Post. So we went into Jefferson County. So those men and women with LMPD, you know, we work closely with as a trooper, and man, it's just heartbreaking to see what they're going through.
Hunt says the response by those he served with was heroic.
To take care of action as soon as they got there and engage in the shooter and eventually, obviously, put him out of commission was good.
Through tragedies, police in Kentucky are showing their unity. In Floyd County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Sheriff John Hunt also said they are slowly rebuilding after the Allen shooting. They now have 2 K-9 officers. Governor Andy Beshear has ordered flags to fly half-staff in remembrance of the victims killed in the Louisville mass shooting. The governor, in fact, knew one of the victims personally, was a very close friend. The names of the 4 people that were killed are 63-year-old Tommy Elliott, 64-year-old Jim Tutt, 40-year-old Josh Barrick, and 57-year-old Juliana Farmer. Of the 9 victims treated at U of L Hospital, 3 are in critical condition, including 1 officer. 3 have already been discharged from the hospital. The governor praised first responders for their quick and decisive action this morning. Kentucky's senior senator has also responded to the shooting in Louisville. Senator Mitch McConnell sent out this message on Twitter earlier today. He said, quote, "Elaine and I are devastated by the news coming out of Louisville this morning. Thank you to LMPD and our first responders for your bravery at the scene. We send our prayers to the victims, their families, and the city of Louisville as we await more information.
Well, the weather is fantastic across the mountains as we start the new work week. Here's a live look right now over the London Corbin Airport, looking at plenty of sunshine back in the distance. That current temperature is 69 degrees, and check out that dew point, 26. That means the air is very dry as you step out the door this evening. Current temperatures upper 60s and lower 70s, 68 for Pikeville, 70 in Hazard, 69 over in London, also 72 at this hour for Harlan and Manchester. So very comfortable as you step out the door this evening. We are going to fall off into those upper 40s and lower 50s as we go into tonight. Not as chilly as last night, but still a little bit chilly as you walk out the door on Tuesday. The good news, we stay dry under plenty of sunshine into this evening, but we are watching out for some rain chances to return, not in the short term, but on Friday. Also into next weekend, a few showers are possible. All those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Late word that President Joe Biden has approved a disaster declaration, another one, for much of the Commonwealth after the state experienced severe storms and very high winds on March 3rd and 4th. You might remember those storms and the wind that followed knocked out power to hundreds of thousands from one end of the state to the other. The declaration provides access to federal funding for state and local governments and some private nonprofit organizations to help pay for specific recovery-related repairs. Some of the counties included in the declaration in our area are Clay, Estill, Floyd, Jackson, Johnson, Laurel, Lee, Martin, Owsley, Powell, Rockcastle, Whitley, and Wolfe counties. That storm definitely impacted our western counties harder than the east. One person was flown out for treatment after being shot in the leg at a gas station in Harlan County today. KSP Trooper Shane Jacobs posted on Facebook the incident occurred at the Sunoco gas station in Everts. Officers say the shooting was an isolated incident that happened between two men who were arguing in the parking lot of the gas station. 32-year-old Gerald Smith of Harlan was arrested and charged with first-degree assault. He was taken to the Harlan County Detention Center. 21-year-old Braden Shanks of Everts was flown to Johnson Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries. Lexington police are investigating a shooting they say happened early yesterday morning on Bryan Avenue. It happened in the Castlewood neighborhood. Folks there are saying they have been hearing a lot more gunshots lately, but nothing like what they heard yesterday.
We were woken up. It was 4:55 a.m. We were woken up by I didn't know what it was. I thought it was fireworks at first. My wife said, "Is that gunshots?" And I said, "I hope not," because there were so many. I mean, there was probably 50, 60 gunshots in like 15 seconds.
Police say this is one of 3 reports of shots fired they are investigating that occurred this past weekend in Lexington. A woman has died following an explosion at a mobile home in Mingo County, West Virginia. The Kermit Assistant Fire Department says Sandra K. Coleman died on Saturday. She was in the hospital on Friday with severe burns after the explosion on March 29th. The fire marshal says the fire has been ruled undetermined because of significant damage. The fire department says the explosion was so powerful it sent glass from the trailer into the baseball field parking lot that was across the street. A Southern Kentucky woman is facing charges and a family member faces new ones after officials found one was trying to smuggle drugs to the other one in jail. Last Saturday, deputies with the department and staff at the jail worked together to stop those efforts and ended up arresting the mother of an inmate who was already locked up on other charges. 48-year-old Stephanie Lawson of Williamsburg was charged with conspiracy to promote contraband, among other charges. 31-year-old James Muse, also of Williamsburg, now faces new charges, including promoting contraband. He was already facing murder, robbery, and tampering with evidence charges from a previous case. Lawson was supposed to appear in court today, while Muse will appear in court on May 1st. A regular rescue training for the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team quickly turned into the real thing. The team received a call around 1 last Saturday afternoon from Menifee County Dispatch saying a hiker was injured near Eagles Point Buttress on Douglas Trail. While officials say they did not know where the woman's exact location was, an advance team started moving toward the spot where she was last known to be. A second team brought the rest of the gear needed for a rescue. The team found the woman with an ankle injury and carried her about a mile to where her husband was waiting. She was then taken to Clark Regional Hospital in Winchester. No word on her condition. A summer camp aimed at helping children learn to cope with the trauma they experienced due to last July's flood has been sponsored by the ARH Foundation. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more.
With help from the ARH Foundation, here in Floyd County, students aged K through 5 will be able to come to the Floyd County Community Center for Camp Noah.
Where there are children all over Eastern Kentucky that are experiencing a lot of trauma because of the flood and the change it has made in their lives.
The camp is a program designed specifically to help children whose communities have been impacted by natural disasters. Special Projects Director of Floyd County, Missy Allen, says after a lot of research, they chose this camp.
One of the projects that we had identified was through the Lutheran Social Services, which is called Camp Noah. They actually had these camps over in Western Kentucky after the tornadoes.
She adds that the camp is a good opportunity to help children process the emotions relating to what they experienced.
And especially for these children, you know, the fear of, oh no, are we going to lose everything again? So we have to identify and realize that this is a real concern.
Even though the camp has already been paid for, Allen says that they are still trying to find ways to provide food and transportation. In Floyd County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
RJ, thank you. To find out if your child is eligible to attend one of the camps, you can contact your county's long-term recovery office.
And we stay dry for much of the work week, but showers are possible by Friday. All those details coming up in just a few minutes.
And Governor Andy Beshear wants to see sports betting in Kentucky before the next NFL season.